Well, what a weird day or weird couple days here. There's a lot of people that were very upset because TikTok went down, and now I'm seeing reports of it coming back up in the United States. I'm up here in Canada. We never really saw the disruption with it, but I did see a few things going on. And, I saw a lot of people get very upset over it because it looked like their livelihoods on TikTok was over. But now I'm seeing it's been restored. What does this mean? Well, I think it's a dark day for the States because in the States, they have their First Amendment, and being able not to push yourself out on a social media platform, and now it has to go through like the White House and all this other stuff to get it restored and whatever back dealings they did. Honestly, I think it's a good thing. I think what happens behind the scenes at TikTok, I don't think is that great. But TikTok existing, I think, is. I think the existence of social media and where people can share ideas freely has been one of those things that have made things very good. I'm out here on YouTube. I've done Twitch. I have a TikTok account. So yeah, in social media aspects, it's good to see a platform where people, furries, everybody can share their information, share their fun, excitement, their joys, their passions in life, and sometimes share the bad things that happen throughout the world. Not all news is good news, but in this circumstance, it seems with TikTok coming back very, very quickly, that's a good thing. Now, what did the TikTok banning actually affect? Well, I guess it also affected Marvel Snap because ByteDance also owns Marvel Snap, a newer game that came out in the last year. That's like a card. I believe it's like a card game. I haven't played Marvel Snap. A little interesting, but I know how addictive these games get, so I just kind of avoid them in that sense because let's face it, I have my own addictions. Look at me. I'm standing here as an avatar right now in the middle of VR chat. Yes, I have my own addictions. I don't need anything more like that in my life right now. But I saw a lot of people get upset. Everything's hanging on an edge right now. Everyone's got that razor thin wire that they're tight roping on. And with TikTok doing the flip flop and going back and forth with government interference, it's not a good thing. Now, like we've said, what happens on the backside of TikTok, that's for the regulation to happen. That's where the governments need to kind of step in. Banning these things outright doesn't help anyone. It just creates a situation where it puts these things and drives them underground. It creates a situation where everyone has their own piece of the puzzle. Now, I'm also up here in Canada, and up here in Canada, we have a very, very strict and strange version of social media right now. Now, I'm hoping, not going into the political thing, trying not to go into the political thing, but there's a lot of things that are happening up here in Canada that have taken steps in the last couple years, where social media has it's been curtailed a little bit. We have a law up here called CanCon, and that law up here in Canada, CanCon, states that in certain circumstances, radio, television, it all goes through the CRTC, and the CRTC regulates these things. And now, in the last year, there was a new regulation that's going through the CRTC. They don't have the rules set out. It's going to take them like 3 years to actually set up new rules for social media. But what it's trying to do is change these algorithms. And the algorithms, like you have found yourself here today, maybe this is something I've talked about. It has been something I've talked about on the channel before, but not in this context. But these algorithms, they change and they push. But the main part of it is they want to promote more Canadian content in it and promote it to the world and say, if the world wants Canadian content, you have to show more of that in Canada. Not necessarily the rest of the world, but then it kind of creates these barriers and these walls. And that's the same thing that we're seeing here with TikTok. If the government's going to step in, the courts are going to step in on another social media platform and say you cannot operate in the United States, it brings it down and kind of creates that sort of wall that we don't want. We want these walls to be open and free. We want everyone to be open and free and to be able to talk to everyone. But Also with like the algorithm here, our government trying to force Canadian content on Canadians, well, it just creates, once again, a barrier for everyone to be able to speak their mind and be able to speak out there in the social media space and say, hey, listen, we're having fun up here. Let's do all the fun things. But because of that, because TikTok went down, it's kind of one of those things you sit there and you go, this can't go down. There's too many people's lives. There's too many things at stake for it to go down. It's created a life of its own, and that's what happens with social media at this point. This now brings into context again. Is social media a private business, or is social media a regulated like utility, a regulated thing that we need to really address? You have your power, you have your internet, you have your phone. All those things in itself are necessities of life just to survive in the world today. Like, could you imagine if you didn't actually have a cell phone in your pocket? What you would be doing? You'd still be trying to contact people on a regular basis. Now we just contact people, we put on a headset, we go into the middle of a VR space and talk to everyone there. It's kind of unique in that sense. And really, this is the digital age, which will continue to transform and do a lot more things in that sense. With the TikTok banning, I think it was a bad idea. I think that the what was it? The Supreme Court, I believe, voted all in favor of banning it. Like, what in the world is that? That's not, from my understanding, that's not how you open up a free society. That's how you create a divide. And once again, the ideas that everyone wants to push out there really gets knocked down a few pegs. Now, I am glad to see that it is coming back, that it seems very quickly, because this is my second rendition of this video, and within the hour of me making it, I'm seeing reports of it actually coming back. So, you know what? TikTok's back. It's good. I don't think it needs to go away. I think there's some regulations that need to be done in the background of it to make sure everyone's information is their information and not someone else's. But we live in a social media age. Everyone's information's already out there. It just depends on how much you put out there yourself. I've put out a lot of information about myself in the world, and I'm okay with that. Honestly, if you ever wanted to know who I really was, it wouldn't be that hard to find. I know things are very, very different, and I know it's affected a lot of people. And I really do feel it for those content creators that really were affected by this. So hopefully everything can be forgotten and everyone moves forward and it's all back to sunshines and rainbows and just being able to make the content you want. But whenever government's involved, it creates a scenario that no one's ever happy with it. No one's ever happy with it. Anyway, I am your proud Canadian Phoenix, Cindershadow. I'm signing off here. Have yourselves a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon.